Hello, I am Teacher Aaron, and this video is all about two people, a husband and a wife, who went on vacation to Belize. Belize is a very small country by Mexico, Guatemala, and Honduras, and it's very small, and it's right here. This is Belize. And so this video is about two people who went on vacation to Belize. All right. Now, this vacation was in the year 2018. Okay. They went to Belize on May 3rd, 2018. This year is 2021. So this vacation happened in the past. That's why I'm going to talk about the past tense in this video. And you can see that when they went to Belize, it was very beautiful. The sky was blue. There were many palm trees, and the water was beautiful. Okay? There were two people who went on vacation to Belize. Brandon, the husband or the man, and Amy, the wife or the woman. And the first thing they did in Belize is they went to an ancient ruin. Okay? Look at these buildings. These buildings are very old. They're ancient. And Brandon and Amy went to go see the ancient buildings. You can see in this picture, Brandon was looking at the ancient ruins. And in this picture, Amy was walking towards the ancient ruins. Amy was wearing a white dress. Amy was wearing a white dress on that day. And Brandon was wearing a black t-shirt, and he was wearing shorts when they were at the ruins. After they left the ruins, they drove down the road and they stopped at a roadside cafe. They stopped at a restaurant on the side of the road and they ate rice and beans in coconut milk. You can see in this picture, Amy was sitting on a blue picnic table. Okay, Amy sat on the picnic table for a picture, and she's still wearing her white dress. She was still wearing the dress that she wore to the ruins. Then they got on an airplane. Okay, they went to the airport and they got on an airplane. Wow, look how beautiful the view was. They were able to see a long ways, and their view from the airplane was very beautiful. It says they only had a 20-minute flight because they were flying a very short distance. So while they were on the plane, Amy put her feet on the seat in front of her. So she put her feet up. Amy sat on the seat with her feet up on the seat in front of her, and she looked out the window. Brandon took a video while they were going to land. And you can see here, he was taking a video of the airport or the runway. All right, so Brandon took a video while the plane was landing. And then they got off the plane. They got off the plane. You can see in this picture, Amy was getting off the plane. All right, and you can see here that the plane they flew in was very small. It was a very small plane. Okay, this was not a very big plane. It was a very small plane that they flew in. Then they went to the ocean. They sat on this deck and they watched the sunset. Okay, in this picture, the sun was setting, and you can see that Amy put on a very big dress. She was not wearing this little white dress. She put on a big, long dress, and they sat on the deck and they watched the sunset. Then Amy spun around. She spun around. Here, this is spinning. Amy spun around, and her dress kind of flowed in the air. I think this dress was maybe a traditional dress from Belize. Then Amy sat back down on the deck. She sat down again and she watched the sunset. While they were in Belize, Amy and Brandon met this very nice dog. Look how cute this dog is. They met this very cute dog, and his name was Buddy. I don't know what this is. I guess they went to, maybe this is where they slept, where they stayed. Here's another view of the island that they stayed on. Okay, at nighttime, they went to a bonfire. Okay, this is a fire. We call this a bonfire on the beach. And this man roasted a marshmallow. Okay, this man had a long stick and he roasted a marshmallow in the fire. Okay, Amy says, finishing the night with a beach bonfire, complete with champagne and s'mores. Okay, s'mores are a food. Let me show you s'mores if you don't know. S'mores are a food made with marshmallow. So this man roasted a marshmallow in the fire, or he cooked a marshmallow. The next day, Amy and Brandon went on a boat. And in this picture, Amy was sitting on the guardrail. Amy sat on the guardrail. Brandon laid back, or he leans back on the boat, and Brandon put his feet on the guardrail, and he was relaxing. He was relaxing. Amy was sitting on the guardrail at first, but that looks a little bit dangerous. Like maybe if they hit a wave, Amy could have fallen off. Amy could have fallen off. So she stopped sitting on the guardrail and she decided to sit down on the boat. And she just leaned back against the guardrail. And that looks safer. Wow, look at this. After they rode in the boat, Amy got out of the boat and she swam in the ocean with sharks. Wow, look at all the sharks that were in the ocean that day. And Amy swam in the ocean with the sharks. She swam with the sharks. There was a lot of sharks in the ocean that day. Brandon also got into the water and he swam with the sharks too. Wow, look at this. Amy touched a shark. She touched a shark on the back. She touched a shark. And then she climbed back up the ladder and she got back into the boat. Brandon went underwater with all the fish. Brandon threw the anchor. Okay, this is the anchor. Brandon threw the anchor into the water. And then Amy swam under the water. And look here, Amy saw a stingray. This is called a stingray. And Amy swam under the water with a snorkel and flippers. Amy swam underwater. Brandon also swam under the water, and he saw a lot of kelp or seaweed, and he saw a big turtle, And the turtle had 3 fish on its back. 1, 2, 3. The turtle had 3 fish on its back. There's more pictures of them swimming underwater. Oh, look at this. In this picture, Brandon had a spear. Okay, a spear for catching fish. They said, time to catch our own lunch. And look, Brandon caught a lobster. This is a lobster. Brandon caught a lobster, or Brandon speared a lobster with his spear. And then later, they ate him. They ate the lobster for lunch later that day. And they also ate chips and salsa, or chips and ceviche. Okay. Then they went to the beach, and in this picture, Amy was sitting on the beach. She was sitting on the beach and looking out at the ocean. And she was wearing a big hat. She was wearing a big hat and a swimsuit on the beach. And she was drinking coconut water. You can see she had a straw in the coconut and she was drinking the coconut water. It's very yummy, very tasty. Brandon swam in the ocean and they got on another boat to go onto the ocean to watch the sunset. While they were on this boat, they had some champagne together and they watched the sunset. It looks like a lot of fun. In this picture, Amy was sitting on the boat with her dress out behind her, and she was drinking champagne, and she was watching the sunset. Amy was sitting on the boat with her arm on the guardrail and with her legs over the side of the boat. Then, later that night, they watched a movie. They said, late night movie theater under the palms. So they watched a movie, but it looks like this movie was all white. So I don't see what they were watching. In this picture, Amy was sitting on the dock again, watching the sunset. And I think this is the hotel or the cabin that they stayed in. Wow, that looks really nice. And Amy jumped on the bed. Amy jumped on the bed. This looks like it was a very comfortable bed. She said, "We never needed to turn on the AC in this hotel." The AC is the air conditioner to help keep you cool. She says, "We never needed to turn on the AC in this hotel. We just let the ocean breeze fill the room. So the wind came in through this window, and the wind helped keep their hotel room cool, nice and cold." The next morning, they ate breakfast in bed. Okay, this looks like it was a very yummy breakfast. And this is a different hotel. Okay, Brandon was standing on the dock and he was wearing a swimsuit on the dock. Amy was wearing a very long skirt and she was touching this fern. Okay, this is a fern. This is a palm tree. And Amy touched this fern while she was walking on the sand. This is another picture of the island that they stayed on. Okay, Amy and Brandon were holding hands. Amy sat in this hammock. Normally, you lay down in a hammock. So Amy probably laid in the hammock. Maybe she took a nap. Maybe she fell asleep. But for this picture, Amy sat in the hammock. Then they went on some more boats. Okay, this is a sailboat, and this is a paddle boat. Okay, or a pedal boat, a paddle boat. And in a paddle boat, you use your feet. You use your feet to drive the boat. Then they went paddle boarding. Okay, so this is a paddle, and this is the paddle board. And when you're on a paddle board, you use your paddle to paddle yourself. So at first, Amy was not on the paddle board. Amy was in the water walking. But then she got onto the paddle board and she paddled herself. Then she laid down in some very shallow water. Okay, this was not deep water. She laid down in some very shallow water. And she went swimming under the water. She also went kayaking. Okay, in this picture, she was in a red kayak and she was paddling her red kayak. Wow, look how beautiful the island was that day. Then they went to another hotel that had a swimming pool, and Amy laid out by the swimming pool and sat in the sun. It looks like it was a very nice swimming pool. Brandon jumped into the swimming pool. He jumped into the swimming pool. And Brandon went underwater with a coconut. You can see he had a coconut in his hands underwater, and that looks like it was a lot of fun. Okay. Then they ate breakfast. I think breakfast, maybe breakfast or lunch. I don't know. It looks like breakfast because I think Brandon was drinking coffee. All right. And then this is some kind of food. I don't know what food this is, but someone put lemon, someone squeezed lemon onto this food. They also ate tacos. Okay, someone was holding a taco in this picture. And then they went to another hotel. Okay, and this hotel had a dock out back. So Amy and Brandon were able to lay on the beach chairs, the lawn chairs, out behind the hotel. Then Amy changed into a red dress, and she still had her big hat. And then at nighttime, they released a floating lantern. Okay, so there was a candle inside this big lantern, and the candle heated up the air inside the lantern, and that allowed the lantern to float. So Amy and Brandon held onto the lantern, and then they released the lantern and it floated up into the air. And that looks like it was very pretty and a lot of fun. They had a beautiful view of their hotel at night. And then the next day, they went back to the hammock and they laid in the hammock together. Brandon and Amy laid in the hammock together to relax. And that was the end of their vacation. So if you liked that video, you can watch more videos of mine about going to the beach and learning words about vacation in English. If you want to see more pictures from Awaylands, you can go to awaylands.com. Oops, awaylands.com. And if you want to see more videos of how to learn English and words in English, you can click this video here. Thanks. Bye-bye.